Man, these SDCC sets are so cool. Man, I wish there were so many. I wish there were cheaper ones and Lego actually made things like this. I have an idea. I will build my own. I've looked through thousands of things that Lego would definitely never in 1,000 years make. And I stumbled upon this after playing the latest season of Fortnite. Doom. It looked like such a cool game. And some of the cover art is absolutely incredible. So what I did, I decided to set out and make my own SDCC style Doom set. So I decided to start building, and I thought the logical place to start would be the floor, which all San Diego Comic-Con sets have a 12x12 base, primarily using these. Now, I didn't have enough of these, so I decided I had to make my own. So I decided to go like this and get a 12x12 area perfectly with that front plate. So then I decided to start working on the floor because that seemed like the next logical step. But I figured, first, all of the San Diego Comic-Con sets have a really lovely border around the sides of all of them. And I wanted to base this one more on, say, the Dark Knight of Arkham. But that one's still out of border. So I used these flat plates to make a border around the entire structure. Then I started layering these flat plates over the entire thing to make it so that it is a nice yellow hexscape. Don't want to get demonetized, despite the fact I'm not monetized. Speaking of monetized, you really should subscribe. It encourages me to make more videos like this and make more awesome mocks for you guys. Pretty soon, I had a really nice train built up. The next step, of course, was a little bit harder because I had to get a ton of skulls. And I realized that Lego skulls are kind of rare. And so realizing I needed a ton of skulls, I went headhunting. Nope. That's an egghead. Nope. Minecraft. Nope. Nope. Perhaps this cemetery will find a lot of skulls in here. So let's see what we got here. Let's see. Open it up. Don't kill me. Oh, we hit the jackpot. Nothing but skulls. You don't mind if we take this, William Afton, do you? Yeah, I didn't think so. So after robbing Mr. William Afton, I decided to get to work on the centerpiece of the build, the iconic bone pile, or skull pile rather, that Doomslayer stands on. So I wanted to make sure this had plenty of life in this set. So I decided to use a ton of these super jumper pieces. They're extraordinarily useful parts. So I decided to start preparing some poses for him, which will add minifigures last, but it is a very, very useful piece. And I started realizing that I didn't have all that many Lego skulls. I could have sworn that I'd killed more minifigures, but I figured if I put some parts back here, I can at least fake it till I make it, if you will, about how many Lego skulls there were. I also realized that this piece would get in the way of the future skull, so I had to flip it and put it there. Hopefully it will make sense later. So I put that there, and I started laying 3 skulls out over here. One here, which honestly, yeah, right there. One here. All of these facing outwards because the only angle of this, all of these skulls are facing outwards because, well, you don't want to see just regular minifigure heads, and the backside is going to be covered by a giant wall, essentially, so you can't even really see it, so it doesn't really need to be there. So I built out a fake area back here, and I even wanted to make it so that, you know, there were some bones on angle, so I put a little configuration like this right here for the Doomslayer to stand on. So then I started adding an outer layer of skulls. By using more jumper pieces, I was able to get a nice angle for these specialized Ninjago skulls like this. But I really wanted to showcase up front. That way it had some variation, so it looked like he killed more than just one type of monster. So we put that right here, and his bone pile is a little bit flimsy. However, with the purposes in mind of what we're doing with this being a display model, I think it's a worthy trade-off. I mean, after all, that Optimus Prime set, nothing could be more flimsy than that. It was a great set, but, you know, flimsy. And we go there, and we use some of these snot bricks here to be built on the side, and to cover that area, because using a regular skull, it would kind of look a little weird. I used one of these Ninjago skulls, because, let's be honest here, do they really even make any sense in the continuity of LEGO? They really don't, do they? They look cool, but they don't make sense. We'll put like that, so that way there's some angle variation for these skulls. Also, I popped it out a good dozen times trying to do this, and I really almost rage quit several times, because, let's be honest here, this is a little tricky to get the skulls to be in the right position. And then we added one area right here because I was looking a little bit there from my angle, where we put a skull on the side here, and even though I did just contradict some of my own rules, I thought it was worth it because, well, you know, just look at this. Oh. Keeps breaking. Technical difficulties here. So then I realized, after those technical difficulties, that I had completely done it the wrong way. The bone pile, it wasn't even close to where I wanted it to be, so I had to shift everything over by one stud. Except for this guy right here. This guy is cool. But over here, we can now actually do this the proper way, where this is right here, making a vastly better bone pile. And just using all those exact same techniques we used earlier. Again, things popping off, but it shouldn't be as bad this time around. Things popping off, and all of these heads should face upwards towards the viewing angle of this, because I intend it to look basically like a 1-1 recreation of the iconic Doom cover art. Again, I don't know what to call this even, but we then put our, I don't know. Technical difficulties again. So because this guy is more rad, we're going to have him face more towards the camera. And we have to figure this out here, because this is one of the backbones of this entire operation here. But we'll have that like this right here, in between the studs. Right, we're so close to the desired effect, yet so far. Okay, I think I should have enough clearance to do this. Dropping it in. It's good! So then I put this jumper piece back on, and now we have a very menacing and sizable bone pile for the Doomslayer to stand on. But then I realized that Okay, then I realized I need to come in with a fix, and decided to put a 1x1 stud underneath this, so it does raise it up a smidge, but you know what? It's worth it just to, be done with this whole skull pile mess. But would you look at that? Look at how sick this looks if I stop breaking it. God! But this looks sick now. This looks amazing. I can't believe just how cool this turned out. And all of these are attached legally with Lego studs. None of them are free floating, except for maybe that guy right there. He's a little floating. We don't talk about that guy. On the back, it's a little weak, but then I realized that we needed to build the backup. So now I realized that I didn't have enough red pieces. So I got out and got this Lego Creator bucket, which fortunately had just enough red and yellow pieces to build the fiery background. So then I decided to move on to those background mountains, and I thought that could be a nice forced perspective thing. So what I did was I developed a couple of mountain designs, such as this, but the thing is that they're pretty far in the background, so I had to build up a little bit of a platform. So I started with these yellow bricks, making sure that I kept an area right here, so that way later I can add that big skull you see in the background. We put this here, and there we go. We have some of our background going, but if you notice, I can't tell if that's lava or sand, so I figured try both. So I came up with this little build technique where I take these flower plates and alternate them with 1x2 regular plates of different colors. So then I put that right here, which we'll get into why there's a little jetting out bit in a second, or rather in a minute or two. And we'll also add an area right here, and we will continue adding little bits of the foreground here. And we'll also start building up our platform for where the skull is going to go. So I plan on using this piece right here so I can center it and angle it a wee bit better than I could otherwise. So I'm just going to leave that there for right now, and we'll figure that part out in just a minute. So we're going to go ahead and add that mountain range you see right here, and we're going to also be putting some of these brown bricks right here to make the extra little bit of that peak you see. So we'll go like this, like that, and we'll add a plate right here to secure it all. And boom, we have our mountain range, where we can also add another little platform that we will get into momentarily, because I plan on really going all out as far as minifigures go for this. So this is basically the mountain range done. However, I wanted it to go all the way across, even though this area isn't particularly there. I wanted to go all the way across. So then with that done, I thought that mountain range, it looks pretty cool, but you know what would be cooler is if we add some sky. So then I moved on to the sky, and I noticed that there was a hand reaching up to grab the Doomslayer. So I made this little rig right here, so that way I can add the hand at almost any angle, anytime I wanted. So I put that here, but it was a little fragile whenever you touched down. So I reinforced it with this yellow piece. Sure, it's yellow, not a random brick, but it was worth to have it, not die on me every single second of every single time I did this. So then I kept building up the sky with a bunch of red bricks here. Like seriously, Lego Marvel fans here, you'll know that I basically unlocked Deadpool at this point with the amount of red bricks here. Alright chat, so I did a bit of off-camera building, and now it looks amazing like this. Except for back here. I think that I did a pretty good job shaping up everything, although I don't like how it just abruptly ends up here. So what I did was I got a combination of these pieces and started tiling off the roof, so that way it doesn't look like, I don't know, it just kind of got plopped here. but I wanted to make sure it had some Doom-esque aesthetic, so I used a bunch of grills and made this little sharp pattern, so it kind of looks like it's about torn out instead of just plopped out. It's been torn out of Doom, and that just went flying. That's been torn out of Doom, and now it is complete as far as the build goes. Although, you might notice there's one thing missing. We gotta make a skull real fast, so we'll take this off to the side and I'll show you my skull design. So, I grabbed as many white pieces as I could to see what kind of skull design I wanted, and so I went with an inverted design for it, because I figured that would look kind of cool. I used this configuration here, so it can attach wherever I wanted it to go on the build, which, like I said, I have a special slot picked out for it. So I used this black cone here for a nose, and I used this bit right here, so that way it has a wraparound effect for the eye. I wanted it to, look like a skull and not just have a couple of little bits on the side where, there's a hole. But I think it works pretty well actually. So we keep going here, we keep going here, and we add some teeth. And we're basically done with the skull. What we're going to do is we're also going to mirror the other eye over here. And it kind of looks cool, but I want it to be a skull, not just a rounded, weird, white face thing. So I put these parts right here to get the finishing touch on the shaping of the skull, because this isn't just a human skull, this is a giant monster's skull that the Doomslayer has killed. But that is it for the skull, except for, you might notice, is lacking a lower jaw entrance thing. And we'll get to that in a second. Alright, so before we attach the skull, first got to add the lower jaw. So to do that, I prepared these jumper plates way back here, where this can hopefully go if I remove this first. Remove that first. Then I can get this jumper plate all lower jaw up. If I can remove them. So then I put these jumper plates here so I can make the lower jaw at an angle, so that way, the skull itself actually looks pretty neat. I also put this one here at an angle because I wanted it to give a forced perspective appeal to it. And I reattached this yellow bit right here. So now the skull can attach. It does attach with some great difficulty, but it's angled in the background. It's like resting on the mountains in the background. So I figured it would be okay if it was at an angle attached. So do it like that whilst I'm doing a lot of it. But we'll fix that by putting this back there and by angling it so it looks like a jaw, not just a weird flap, and putting this skull poser bit here. We are actually done with the build section, but it's missing one crucial thing. We are missing minifigures. So let's take a look at the minifigures I've created for the showcase, then we'll get posing for everything and placing.
And they called him Doomslayer.
So yeah, here is my Doomslayer figure. It's not terribly hard to build, so what you need is the helmet piece from the Resistance Soldier. I don't really know what it's technically called. One of the sequel trailers that shouldn't be that hard to get. You need the head from Tremor from LEGO Ultra Agents. Just gonna pop this off. You need the armor piece from the Scuba Iron Man. Now that's optional. Another good option I found is this torso piece, which is from the Scarian Soldier from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. I don't really know what the legs are from. I just kind of found them in my LEGO collection, but almost any olive green legs will work. but we'll just spin him around. He has a nice back plate print as well, but I mean, you're really going to want to have the bulk. And I wanted him to have his signature shotgun like he has on the box. So I've seen this design floating around where it's very, very simple. All you need is the official LEGO pistol piece. You need this Technic snapper piece, as I call it, and you need a binocular piece. Now, this might be considered an illegal building technique, I don't know. But what you do, you wedge it in there, and because there's like a clip thing in there, it will fit perfectly in the binoculars, and therefore it might be legal. So tell me in the comments if you think this is a legal or illegal technique. But then you just put the handle side, and here you have a LEGO double barrel shotgun. So just going to do that to Doomslayer, and we'll put him on the set. Okay, and now for our scary monsters. So LEGO doesn't typically make scary minifigures or monsters of the sort that would be in Doom. So I had to improvise a little bit. With this, Nexo Knights is going to be your best friend. This is literally a figure right out of the box for Nexo Knights, just with a couple of armor pieces removed. Works very, very well. Unfortunately, this one has a double-sided face, but that can work depending on what you think. But that's basically our one he's going to be throwing. We also have this guy right here, which I made using a Fangpire snake torso and legs with the head from one of the Ninjago ones, because this guy's going to be facing his back more so towards the view angle, and it kind of looked like a spine, so I thought it would work. And then, finally, as far as figures go, I'm putting this crazy guy here just for some variety as far as the monsters go. But that is not all. We also need some background characters. We want some forced perspective, so we're just going to take Baby Yoda's toy here. Give it to me! Yeah, so we'll use this as a background character. I'm sure you don't need that eye to see. My eye! Alright, and now to add our terrifying monsters. So we're going to first take this guy, and we are going to pop his head off and slip this simple configuration right on to his neck on the front side, so that way the Doomslayer is able to properly throw him off of him. So angle his head like that. Just give him a little bit of a lunging look. Angle his arms back, and just attach it right there. And we'll just simply place the other guys like this and right here. Now there might be a little bit of a lack of monsters in the front. That is intentional so you can see all of this stuff. But now there's one last thing we need to do, and that is place our background monsters. So first we'll take this thing that we stole from Baby Yoda and put it right there. And we just knocked over Doomslayer. But it's definitely worth it to have some background monsters. And there we go. Now Doomslayer should be a little more secure as well. He's attached to more than one stud. And we'll pop that hat on again. That should be the last time that falls off. Now we're going to add the Cacao Demon by using this and the eyeball we stole earlier. We have that, and we just put it right here on this platform in the background. And last but not least, we have that creepy hand. I didn't build this earlier, but pretty simple build, so you know I'm not going to go that in depth into it. So I'll attach it right there. And just make sure we give it the proper creepy angle. And there we go, we're done.
for this episode of Mr. My Machine 8 Mods. Tell me all what you think about this set that I made here for Doom 2016. I think I did a very good job on it. I hope to make more builds like this in the future. And just thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!